Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have one meditation book to read today. I actually kind of wanted to just sit down and talk about the idea of forgiveness today. It's been a concept that's kind of been going through my mind a lot recently, and I've been thinking a lot about forgiveness, and I feel like I have a lot of experience with forgiveness, so I want to talk about some personal stories and ideas about forgiveness. But I wanted to start with reading a meditation. I haven't been on here for a few days. I just kind of took some days and just was like relaxing and things like that. Made videos on my other channels instead of over here. So thank you for understanding. And I'm back. So I'm going to be making videos back over here every day again. So anyway, let's get into this. The Daily Book of Positive Quotations. It's July 1st. Can you guys even believe that it's July 1st already? I mean, it's crazy to me. All right, July 1st. Let's see. The meditation has to say. Oh, experience. This is so funny that I'm going to be talking about kind of like forgiveness and experience that I've learned from that. But anyway, I'll see if I can apply it to all of that. July 1st, experience. Experience is not what happens to a man. It is what a man does with what happens to him. Aldous Huxley. We all know people who have gone through experiences that should have made them stronger, more interesting, more confident, or more empathetic. Yet somehow they've passed through the experiences seemingly unfazed. We should see such people as cautionary examples of what happens when we fall, when we fail to actively engage the world. Our experiences are not going to do anything for us unless we choose to do something with our experiences. I will try to see every experience as a chance to learn about myself and grow into a better person. And I love this meditation so much. You know, whenever I'm going through something in my life, whenever I'm going through like some tragedy or a mistake that I've made, you know, or I don't know if I've hurt somebody's feelings, or every time I have an opportunity to take a look at myself in any certain situation, my sponsor always says to me, and I love this, she says, you know, like, this is an opportunity for growth. That she always says that, you know, she doesn't let me get off the hook. She's just like, this is an opportunity for growth. Like, let's take a look at this, you know? And I think that's the thing. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like picking ourselves apart, and it is, I think forgiveness of ourselves is a huge part of that too, you know? It's about looking, you know, like at who we are and using that as an opportunity for growth, as an opportunity for change. I think it's interesting when it says in here, we all know people who have gone through experiences that should have made them stronger, more interesting, more confident, or more empathetic, yet somehow they've passed through the experiences seemingly unfazed. I know a lot of people like that, you know, and whether you believe in like new age stuff and that they're like on their first life cycle, or, you know, maybe they lack any kind of like spiritual depth whatsoever, and I don't mean in a religious terms, I mean like of the soul, you know, that they just have no desire to grow as human beings. I actually do know quite a few people like that. You know, when I was in my active addiction, I really could care less about any kind of taking of accountability or growing as a person, or, you know, like looking at the things that I had gone through and the mistakes that I had no desire to do that, you know, which is why when I got, you know, sober and I started working a 12-step program, and I had to look at, you know, in a 4-step inventory, I had to look at who I was, my resentments and my anger, you know, and my fears and all of that. And I had to look at, you know, like what was my part in all of that. And then I had to look at my character defects in 6 and 7. And I had to look at making amends to the people that I had harmed and the organizations that I had, you know, like hurt and things like that. And what I realized was, over time, that this is really not about anybody else. It's all really about me, and it always has been. It starts and ends with me, you know? When we talk about forgiveness, so when I see people, okay, that lack the ability to grow in certain situations, it doesn't really, like, I don't laugh, I don't fault them. It makes me kind of sad, because apparently they're not at a point yet where, I don't know, like, I think we all need to go through stuff to be able to get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm going to continue to learn as I go forward. And I mean, there are going to be things in my life that I'm going to, like, screw up on and make mistakes, and I'm going to look at it and go, God, I didn't learn it. I didn't, you know? I'm a believer that lessons are repeated until they are learned. When it comes to forgiveness, I think forgiveness is such a big part of that, you know? I didn't really realize for a very long time that my forgiving someone is for me, not them. I really, really did not understand that, okay? And this is going to sound very selfish when I talk about this. And I don't honestly know who told me this or where I heard it. It was just something that I read somewhere, or somebody said it to me, or I heard it in a meeting or somewhere, and it stuck. Maybe in a TV show, I don't know. But that forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for ourselves. You know, that When we forgive somebody for whatever we feel that they did to us or whatever hurt or pain that they've put us through, when we forgive them, we are releasing ourselves from the bondage attached to whatever that is that happened, right? Because, to be honest, we are the ones that are ultimately paying for that. Like, those people continue to go through life and they aren't really affected by it. For many people, but many people are affected by it, but the majority, I would say, aren't. Like, they go on with their lives and they aren't affected by it, So it's those of us that are holding on to those things, that the times that we felt betrayed, the times that we felt like things happened to us, that, like whatever. And I'm not talking about like deep things, but you could apply it to that, I guess. But I would recommend you work with somebody on that. And I have on some of those deeper issues. And the thing is it's like, if I can forgive that person, then I can let go of being like, okay, so the Oprah saying that I love about forgiveness, her aha moment is that, I forgot to turn down the volume on my computer, I'm sorry. But that forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. That what happened did happen, right? And it's not saying that what happened is okay. It's not saying that, oh, this thing happened to me and that's okay. It's giving up the hope that it could have been any different. Because I think that we live very much in this like state where we're like, I wish this would have happened. I wish that would have happened. I wish this person hadn't hurt me. I wish they would never have left me. I wish I'd never met them, on and on and on. But we can't do that. We can't go back and change history. So it's giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. And then she says something to the effect of, I don't have my phone right now because I'm uploading another video, but she said, giving up the hope that the past could have been any different so that we aren't held hostage to it. And then the question is, what are we going to do about it now? So we give up this chain link that we have to what happened to us, who did it to us, because I think for so many of us, it's like we have some true anger in our hearts about certain things that happened, okay? But anger is a secondary emotion, which means that anger really covers hurt feelings. When you are really, really hurt inside, right? When you're really pained, okay? When you have justifiable anger, and justifiable anger means like, it's not like road rage because somebody cut you off, although many of us would probably see that that's justified. But it's when like, we have really truly been betrayed by somebody in our lives or been hurt, right? Like we should feel angry about that. We should have a response to that, an emotional response. But really, I think that's covering up hurt a lot, at least for me. A lot of times it's covering up hurt or like a loss of expectations that I thought that somebody should act differently than that. I thought that somebody shouldn't, this should never have happened. Or it should have happened the way that I wanted it to happen or whatever, Resentments are unfulfilled expectations, or when somebody or something turns out a way that I wish it had happened differently. So when I look at that, and I think about forgiving somebody, it's really not for them. I mean, to be honest with you, like when I forgive somebody, the majority of the time, and this is just me, and I'm not talking about trivial apology or trivial forgiveness where like somebody forgets my birthday. I just had a birthday. That didn't really happen. But, like somebody forgets my birthday or I don't know, like just like a little like discrepancy of life. It's like everybody makes mistakes like that. Like those forgivenesses, like I just kind of let go and like, yeah, I forgive you, whatever. It's not even that big of a deal. I'm talking about deeper issue kind of stuff, but that's not deep stuff, but like breakups, hurt feelings, lost friendships, things like that, right? Where I look at it, it's like, I can forgive that person, but then like, I don't, like, do you guys ever watch The Hills back in the day? Okay, when Elsie says to, I can't remember who she says it to. It's not Kristen Cavallari. I think she says it to Heidi Montag. She says, I'll forgive you, but now I want to forget you. Like, that's kind of how I am. Like, when I get to the point where I can forgive somebody, I really have no emotional attachment to them whatsoever anyway. Like, I just really don't want them in my life. I've done a lot of evaluation on my part as well. And part of my part sometimes is allowing people in my life that continue to hurt me over and over and over again. And I don't set boundaries and limits for that, That's my part in a lot of things. And about, standing up and saying no more. Like, this isn't going to continue to happen. Like, you're just not going to be you're not going to have, the privilege of being in my life. I'm sorry, go be in somebody else's life. And yes, a lot of those people do change, A lot of people change and then they come back in my life and then I realize they really haven't changed. Have you ever had that happen? Like, it's like you talk to somebody and you're like, oh my God, I missed this. And like, they haven't changed, like they've changed or different. And then you talk to them a couple times and you're like, no, they really haven't changed. And I probably need to start stepping back. Like that has happened to me quite a few times in my life, And I'm sure with other people to me, because we all have different relationships with people. I think that the other thing is, I was actually watching, I've shouted him out in a lot of videos, so I'm shouting him out over here. Stephen Hill is this guy. Oh my Lord. Oh my, the puppies are going, he just ate your dinner and everything. Boo Radley said, I want to be up there too, Daddy. So, but I've been watching this guy, and he's a vlogger, and his channel's growing, and he's a really nice guy. And he was talking in his video last night, and I was watching it, and he says, it's harder to forgive ourselves than it is to forgive other people. And I was like, damn, that is the truth. You know, like, it is so hard to forgive ourselves for things. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like we hold ourselves inside of our minds, I think, to this really high expectation, forgetting that we're just human beings, you know? To ourselves, you know, and that, I don't know, I think forgiving ourselves comes in the form, thank you, Boo Radley, I think forgiving ourselves comes in the form of allowing ourselves to have these opportunities for growth and these moments for change. It's allowing ourselves to allow the lesson to happen. It's for, you know, Tucker is down here, I'm like, he loves when I rub his ears, but it's, you know, I think that forgiving ourselves is about allowing ourselves to do the work so that we can change and we can grow. So that those lessons don't need to repeat themselves anymore, but that we can learn new lessons and new things in our life. So anyway, let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I'm so happy I'm back over here. I missed it. And I love you guys. And oh, look, Boo's got his paw on Tucker. You guys are so funny. Oh, he did it again. He did it again. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.